I had to come back to tell you guys that this new Bourne album is fucking incredible, man. At least to me, I'm loving this thing a lot. One of my favorite projects I've heard from this year so far. If you've been listening to Pierre, not only his solo work, but also a lot of his full-length collaboration albums as a producer, you know that one of his favorite things to do is to have albums or mixtapes where every single song transitions into each other with insane precision and smoothness, and he doesn't do it in a way where it's gimmicky. He just does it so that it adds an extra level of enjoyment and front to back replayability for his albums. But on this new project here, Good Movie, he kind of takes this to the next extreme because yes, every song still transitions insanely smoothly, and they all run right into each other. In that sense, it's the same as any of Pierre's other stuff. But on this one, he's doing something new where he's building off of each song to create the new ones. Now, sometimes it's just like a small synth line or vocal refrain or lyric that might be repeated. One of the most common, I feel like kind of the central song on this album is Where You Going, because on so many of the songs, after that point of the album, you just hear in the background like these tiny chipmunk vocals just sampling like, what, where are you going? Like the chorus of that song is sampled all throughout the second half of this album, but for some reason it never really gets repetitive or annoying. I think maybe one of the biggest reasons is that despite the fact that Pierre is kind of building these songs off of each other and including little elements as you go along, so the whole thing just feels like this crazy sound collage adventure, but at the same time, at their cores, each of these songs is really distinct. Like, after only listening to this album a couple of times, I already pretty much could kind of hear each song in my head when I looked at the track list. They're all very distinctive, have their own unique flares, sounds, styles, textures. There's DJ in the Car, which is this straight up like house, techno, just rave anthem that I can't get enough of. Such a feel-good song. A lot of this album is super feel-good actually, but there's also a whole range of emotions. You have a song like Rounds, which just casts out this really kind of looming, epic shadow. It's a much more daunting song. You have a track like Heart Say with its weird guitar tone synths, or maybe it's actually guitar, I don't know, but it's very distinctly different from any beat I've ever heard from Pierre, and it's just a very kind of cinematic way to end the album. Peace Sane with Don Toliver is one of the most groovy, fun, exotic songs of the year. If you can listen to that song and not just have a nice time, I don't know, we're just not on the same wavelength. Because I turn that shit on and I feel like I am vacationing down on a Caribbean island, just living life to the fullest. It is a blissful, blissful song. One notable thing about this album is that it has a lot of house influence, which appears to be a theme amongst a lot of artists who never previously made house music this year. Notably Drake and Beyonce in the mainstream made waves with their heavily house-influenced albums. I feel like Good Movie is a lot more subtly house-influenced than those two, but the elements that are there are still very clear. Like I said, on some tracks like DJ in the Car, or maybe Hop in My Bed, or even Peace Sane, actually, the house elements are a little more clear. Just the drums are super house inspired, even some of the repetitive choruses, and I know that's kind of an area where trap and house kind of overlap, is kind of the more hypnotizing, mesmerizing, loopy elements of both genres, so the way Pierre blends them actually feels super natural and not too far out of the ordinary for him, but it also clearly has a distinctly different sound from anything that he's ever done or been involved with. And the drums on this album really stand out to me because they feel a lot more like the drums that you'd get on a Jamie XX album than something you'd get on a guy who would usually be put, again, into the lane of trap or cloud rap, right? And usually in Pierre's past music, he's had some of the more vibrant, exciting, and diverse drum programming of any modern producer. But even for him, this is a whole new bag that he's never really explored, and definitely jumps out at me when I listen to this thing. So I've been having an awesome time with this project. If you haven't heard it and you're into this style of music, I highly suggest you check it out. I think at the very least it's pretty different, so it will at least be an interesting listen. Pierre really just keeps on impressing me, whether it's in his solo music or when he's producing for other people, and he's dropping a lot of music and it's always so fire. Him and The Alchemist, they both do it in different lanes, but both of them, no idea how they do it. But I'm going to keep listening because it's awesome to witness and to hear. Hope you guys are doing well. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.